Greetings, everyone. This is Joanna from Universal Love and Light, as well as Heavenly Radiance. Thank you so much for joining. Today, I wanted to do an early morning heart activation and how important it is to create the time and the self-care and the space for yourself in your own self-discovery and journey with Source as Source. A lot of our offerings talk about the soul and how to live as the soul, this vast multidimensional essence that is Source, Creator, that is you in all realms and all forms and dimensional potentials. And I always liken the soul to sacred geometry that lives within us and is with us and at our beckoning call at every moment to call it forward and live through us. And I've had the physical experiences because of my attunements as being a crystal child and being activated through the bodies to be really heightened and aware of my physical senses along with all the other fields and bodies so that I can explain it and bring life to who we are as a multidimensional being and begin living in those honored and sacred ways. So it's really my passion to bring greater awareness to who we are as spirit through the sacred essence of sound and light and love. And I was reading the other day in one of my favorite authors, J.J. Hurtak. He does some wonderful work, the Book of Enoch, the Keys of Enoch, the Book of Knowledge, that my teams have told me I was a part of writing in other lifetimes. And why when I read the books, I feel so inspired. But he's brought forward some information about these sounds and sounds affecting the light bodies. Bringing sound will be the frequency that aligns the higher vibrational bodies within the grid systems and within what we're being offered from Source Creator. So from all angles and all directions. Sound is that tool that we use to amplify the light quotient within us, the cells. The audible, when I do my sound and toning, I feel the frequencies and the shifts in my bodies and in my fields. And so really a big, huge passion of mine, along with so many other things, so many passions, is to create really high consciousness light studies, to really study who we are and to rediscover and explore who we are through the experience of light and love and how we affect all that we are as physical multidimensional beings in the world around us through various tools like sacred sound and toning, the gifts that we've been given to reemerge, to explore in new ways, to offer it forward in new ways for not only the crystalline children, but many of the children that are going to be coming to the planet that are from many different genetic frequencies. Our genetics, our DNA are being changed all the time. As our consciousness raises, the DNA is going to be shifted and changed so that not only the children amplifying Earth's grids and consciousness and the collective's consciousness, and anything that we can bring forward to support those platforms for them through the healing and rediscovery of who we are as light and love in physical form. And so I wanted to bring forward just a morning offering on the importance of centering and aligning within your heart, and divine sacred heart that I call, and I've been offering as a teaching, is the shape of a diamond. And as we move up in our ascension and our awareness, the sacred geometry merges with who we are in any one moment. And I've felt these and I've seen them in the visions. They come to me in a multidimensional perspective so that I'm able to teach about what's really going on as the sacred geometry that we are through sound and light and love. And then as we move through our own daily desires and excitements, we affect those sacred geometries within the water bodies, that is the Christ water body, the Christ consciousness, which is held within the DNA and the chakras, our water body, and how sound affects the water body, how our affirmations, our shifting of the beliefs and the thoughts that we have affect the water body, the chakras, all that we are as a multidimensional being, and why it's going to be so exciting to study these in higher consciousness light platforms. And so my dream to have the healing temples and the consciousness temples to explore these modalities of healing and um, exploration, so that we can, as a human species, explore our universe with greater wisdom and insight and intelligence, for we're one with it. So it's really about not only healing and amplifying and exploring and reactivating who we are as universal beings, but in doing so, we then offer the template to Gaia to enter her into the galactic and the universal um, energy body that she's willing to explore with us. And so we're preparing one another. She's preparing us with the grids, always preparing us with different herbs and with different flora and fauna that will be introduced. The animals that will be introduced will be new because our grids are new. Recently, we've just had a reintroduction of new grids, which affect the DNA, the crystalline body. For the crystalline children, we've been working many, many years on the grid system to ever amplify and enhance based on the crystalline children consciousness, and along with other things too. But being a crystal child, I can sense and feel the different frequencies. And I know that I'm working with different councils and groups on grids all over the planet, why I'm so connected with the land. And so it's a partnership and a union that at this point we don't see, or it's rarely being talked about, but we are simultaneously reintroducing ourselves into galactic and universal familieship, the community of the family of the galactic and universal energies. So it's those offerings like that I'm bringing forward, and others that bring forward through sound and tone, through light language. Those are moving within the codes that were being offered from source, from the multidimensional galactic beings, and the groups that are helping us. And then we offer them to the collective through all of the consciousness that is unseen, but absolutely goes into the consciousness for their fields and their higher self and their soul and their cells and their DNA to interact with and entangle with. And then for those to be turned on by the higher self, for them to then awaken to their own gifts that are linked and connected with sound and tone and codes, which is what light language does. It fuses consciousness with sound, different dialects. So part of the light language that I speak is the sacred ancient language, R-U-R, that was used in one of our most original community. But I also use whatever is moving with me in the moment through the galactic languages and the downloads that I'm getting, and just being one with source. So it's an ever-moving body of light language and sound. And I see it going into the collective and then being picked up by those who are connected with that next amplification of their multidimensional bodies. So whether they need that in the DNA, whether they need it in their fields, whether they need adjusting the density within their fields, which is what sound and tone and light language do. They clear the density, allowing you to feel more light and free. And so I'll be doing these channels and these offerings were universal channels and wisdoms moving through me as I open my divine sacred heart, sacred geometry of all that I am, through intention and breath, and then offering the sounds to come forward, along with a topic, an ascension topic, so that we can always thread our ever-moving exploration and expansiveness into the uncharted realms of fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension, however we are being moved in that moment of energy. Because at any moment our dimensional frequency shifts, and it's not important, that's never really been important to me, but it's important to know that we are each moving at different vibrational frequencies, and everyone will get what they need through light language. It's an intelligence, and your cells and your higher self and your soul and your teams are always with you in this moment. And we prepare the sacred space so that those listening now and future now moments will have their healing teams with them and their higher self. But it's up to each and every one of us to lovingly command ourselves and our bodies and our consciousness to wake up and harmonize into a higher frequency of becoming and being. And so today I wanted to bring forward not only the wisdoms and the sacredness of sacred sound, light, language, and tone, and how it's affecting our multidimensional bodies, the alignment of our heart, and how important it is to maintain presence within our heart space, to honor and call in. If we're not within our heart space, then anything that we try and do through our enlightenment and ascension and awakening programs is a hit and a miss. I've experienced, because that heart space is the portal to all alchemic shifts, whether it's a mental rebalancing, a physical rebalancing, whether you're calling in information with your team and your guides and you're just wanting that clarity, that communion. That is the line of communication, and it's through the heart. It also allows us this alignment with the heart, this interaction, this oneness, this harmonization through our heart, allows us that divine oneness with our community, because it's done at the higher heart level, and it's our linking with all of our earth community. It's a linking with our fields. It allows us to stay present, so that we're not feeling as if we're being tousled and jostled by what's moving around us. We can recenter, ground, and anchor, and that's where the inner power comes from. It comes from the grounding from up, and the breath work that we do, understanding our multidimensional bodies and keeping this center space, all that you are, the vortex of all that you are, heightened in your own unique way, because each of us have a way to feel into when we're feeling clear and when we're feeling muddled. And it does feel like fog and mud when we're taking on too many energies that don't belong to us. And so just explore and tune in to what your bodies are showing you and telling you, especially if you're around a lot of people. And just tune in to how am I feeling, so take, breaks throughout your day, your checkpoints. How am I feeling? What is my body telling me? What are my emotions telling me? And just do that checklist: mental, emotional, physical, and etheric. And just do your breath work. 3 full body deep breaths is enough to ground you and recenter you, calling all of your consciousness into your divine sacred heart through your breath, through your intention. So the inhale, I'm recentering with the divine essence of all that I am as love. And then call all of your consciousness into recenter at this is your driving seat, this is your engine, this is the portal to your oneness, to your accelerated oneness of you. The soul comes and lives through you, offering you the gifts, the wisdoms, the intelligence. How can you harmonize in that center point and then move about earth in a maximized human, angelic, spiritual essence? Because we do have angelic bodies that we're activating, not only that our light body, but our angelic body, so that we are allowing ourselves to devote and live selflessly in an environment that's requiring us to step up to greater devotion of love and harmony and peace and companionship and community. And all of these are things that are new for humanity. And so the heart is the portal to all of these experiences and activations within your multidimensional fields. And they get activated by the pure oneness that you have with your essence. And you'll feel it alchemically. It's a real alchemic shift, and I've written about it on our Facebook. So feel free to connect with our social platforms. And some of it, just so that you know, because we often get, the comments, a lot of our stuff is universal wisdoms and informations, universal laws, and multidimensional information that can appear to be complex and out there. But I've always often offered that if you listen to it over and over again, you move within the energy that's being offered. And as long as you're sitting with an open heart and not the mind trying to dissect the information, open within your divine sacred heart and muse softly about, how is this important for me and my body? And how may I open into what's being offered? That's the open essence that will allow your heart space to open, and your cells and your multidimensional bodies and your higher self will get what it needs to know. And you'll just walk with the inner knowing that, oh yeah, I remember that, because you're being activated from multidimensional frequencies through the sounds that we offer. We offer the Christ vibration, which affects the water body, the chakras, and the cells and the DNA. And so you'll wake up tomorrow morning with a heightened awareness that you didn't have the day before, or however your teams or your higher self is aligning your divine timing, because it's all unique. You might be going through a big healing right now, and it's not going to be advantageous to take on a lot of new information to write out and sort out. That moment might just allow you the open heart space to heal and allow that healing to take place. So again, getting used to your cycles, and even opening within your heart space will allow whatever healing to occur that needs to occur, and your teams will assist you in that. So it's getting used to releasing the ego mind. You'll always have what you need when you need it. You're one with source. You're one with all that is. You have a soul that's vast and dynamic. You'll receive the healings and the activations that you require in that moment. Our mandate and our role is to release negativity, is to release toxic energy, is to release the ego, control, fear, greed, anxieties. And we do that by giving ourselves permission to release. I give myself permission to release. I've learned the lessons I've required to learn. I stand within my power brand new. I ask for the healing help to assist in transmuting these frequencies that do not serve. And give yourself permission to let it go. Like, give myself permission to let this go. I no longer want to carry this. So it's the simple self-care. If you do this in the morning and at night, then you're feeling that movement of who you are as a higher frequency being, because you're not carrying things from day to day. You're allowing yourself the management and the leadership for yourself. You are the leader of your bodies. You're the leader of your multidimensional existence. And you give yourself that power to open and receive, integrate whatever's coming through. Allow yourself those higher vibrational focuses to know that I'm allowing these energies to go to my cells. I'm allowing them to go to my organs. I'm allowing them to go to my intelligence and activate what needs to be activated. That's your allowance. Not fighting it with, does this make sense to me? All that's all ego. Is this really what I need, or do I need a faster fix kind of thing? Those are all ego energies, and those will keep you from receiving the full frequencies and the full lesson, really, because you'll always be brought back around until you really get it, And some of the lessons, because they're so entrenched within our experiences, eons and eons and lifetimes that we've experienced them, they can come over and over and over and over again. There's so many layers. But you can also ask the divine teams, the Holy Mother, Father, the Christ Collective, your healing angels, the angels of sound and tone, to come and assist in the transmutation of any and all negative frequencies throughout your day. If there's things that coming into your center and say that I feel these energies and these frequencies within, and I wish to release them now. I really choose to live in joy and peace and love. And so those are with you in every moment. They're your birthright. They're your tools, so that you can live in a frequency that is light and free and fluid. And you get used to it. It's a cycle. Release, let go, open up to new. Release, let go, open up to new. Release, let go, open up to new. And that's done by centering. You are the crucible. You are the center, the sacred geometry of that infinity. And that center point is where you direct and you intend and you co-create. Not while you're totally out here or totally out here. It's neutral. And that makes you the highest form of manifestation. And it's your oneness of source. Your soul, your center, your divine sacred heart of source. Along with your chakras, because they're all working. Their energy portals and their vortices working with you, with the information, the wisdom, and they're all being activated and working simultaneously as you're co-creating and you're working with your fields and your healings. So know that sound and tone will be a big part of our awakening, our activations, the healing of the bodies, the DNA, the illnesses that we all carry, that we've all been a part of co-creating, and realigning and re-entraining our cells and our consciousness. Our consciousness is, as the heart is, the tool to all alchemic shifts. We code, we program our consciousness through our divine will, our pure intent, and through the tools that we have, through creative imagination, visualizations, thoughts, affirmations. Those are all the tools that we are now leading and managing our consciousness. Consciousness is within every atom. All things, God consciousness. We walk within God consciousness. So now that we understand that, we can begin working with it in a loving and benevolent way, so that we're serving the greater good, we're serving the all. And you walk within fields that just feel happy and joyful, because you can program your field. So program your field with love and light from the center of your being, and just walk around for a day and see how it feels. And then when you're feeling muddled from all the energies you're walking in, because we're constantly enmeshing with other people's fields and the collective, constantly clearing and cleansing the negative thought forms, and just recenter, bathe and cleanse, bathe and cleanse, bathe and cleanse, and release, 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 and then center, call in. And so the bathing and the cleansing and your calling in for new codes and new information comes after the clearing and cleansing, because you don't want to call new codes in when you got all that stuff there, because it's not going to get through. It's like a clogged sink. Those codes aren't going to get to where they need to get to. You're certainly not going to understand it and integrate it and understand that in reflection time, because you're still working through all the muddle stuff that's trying to get the clarity. So clarity comes after we clear and cleanse. It's just like cleaning your windows. It's kind of hard to see out a dirty window. And those are the energy fields we walk within, and the chakra systems. Why it's important to create that self-care daily, and how important it is for us to begin offering these experiences to the children, because they're so heightened, and they can come home looking so confused and exhausted from school. And so offer, Epsom salts baths for the children once a week. I take them every night because I'm feeling so much. My body is just on hyper mode. Epsom salts baths and salt baths are really good to really clear the fields in the bodies and cleanse the toxins that are in the bodies. And also visualizations, which they're really good and quick at, visualizations of clearing the field and having them put shields around, the divine light shields, the divine source creator putting a shield around them in difficult or challenging situations, if they're having challenges with certain people at school. And just get them used to visualizing and owning and honoring their body, the mastership they have of their bodies. The sooner we begin these discussions and open communications, there's so many things I see that we're creating reverence and honor for who we are as beings, and how it's directly related to how we move about in life and how we behave, and how we have blocked empathy and compassion, because the heart has shut down. And why we see what we see in our reality, and those showing us those reflections of where do we need to start. And it's at the heart, because kids, even at the earliest of ages, have experienced, in my own experience too, the teasing and the separation and the bullying, and that affects their entire multidimensional bodies. They shut down, and they no longer tap into those sensitive, unique gifts and skills they come with, because it's so different than what others have been taught. We've all had those moral, social, what's right and what's not right, what's okay, what's not okay, do you fit in, do you not fit in, and those shut down the heart chakra. That heart chakra is so important for that open vessel and portal of compassion and empathy, our oneness with one another. That's the higher heart that we're linked with every single human in the planet, every single one, not without exception, and why we release judgment. And it's so important for the healing of humanity, so that we begin these discussions in beautiful, fun, and really exciting ways. We're remembering who we are as universal beings. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how our multidimensional bodies affect how we behave and how we act and how we care for one another, how we care for ourselves. It always begins within first, and honoring that you've come with great gifts as a crystal child. I've come with great gifts. My body is so turned on right now to the energies and the vibrations. If I'm teaching in a group online, I can feel the vibrations of everybody in the group, even though I can't see them. My energy body is connected with them through the ethers. And so it's important that we understand the energy that we are, the essence that we are, the vibrations that we are, and begin to allow ourselves care, allow ourselves wisdom and intelligence that's directly related to who we are. And the heart chakra is so important. When I was 5 or 6, I was this scar that's on my heart. I was activated. I was adjusted really by the Pleiadians. They came to my house. Well, they don't need to come to your house. I mean, they're multidimensional, but it was a vision that I was meant to remember. It was an experience I was meant to remember. So that's how I explain it in the physical terms. It seems so funny to say that. Because it's all illusory. But anyways, it was my illusory experience, I guess, if you will, the physical reality. And they came to adjust my heart because I was, my heart chakra was fully engaged, and I was feeling and sensing everything as an empath, as a crystal child, as an intuitive, psychic skills. So this little kid that was so turned on to everything in an environment that was, dysfunctional and toxic, was not good, for me to continue in that environment. And I had just started school, so it was, something that had to be done to turn down my heart chakra, and it left a scar, because the energetic frequencies. What I believe to be true is that the soul of me, the spirit of me, didn't want that adjustment to be made, because I wanted that, unconditional link with Source, Creator, and Gaia, that I could hear, and I could hear Gaia's song, and I could hear all of my family, and the friction, the energetic friction that oftentimes, and there's many cases like this that are written about, when the soul and the energy frequency, within the transaction, if you will, of energy healing, or any medical operation, if you will. If there's friction or fear or, the energy that, I don't want this to happen kind of thing, even though your soul, your higher self, and your teams and God and all of those understand that it's for the highest and the best. But at that point, as a little girl in the body that I was in, I wanted that connection with Source, and I didn't want that to end. There, at some level, I knew that there was that 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 furthering. That's what separation really is. We lose that fully profound energy that you're one with Source, and you're constantly hearing Spirit, and you're constantly with Spirit all the time. So what had happened is they turned that down so that I wouldn't hear it so much, and I wouldn't be so heightened in every way to hear the thoughts of everybody and everything around me that wasn't in the vibration of Spirit. And so there was a part of me that said, no, don't do that. I want to be with Spirit. I want to be with Spirit. But it was so much energies that weren't aligned with Spirit. I understand now, for the highest and greatest good, that had to be done. But that's the difference between those frictions causes the skin, discoloration, because the soul says, no, I don't want that. And they're meant to. Even when I was younger, I always remembered, I always knew somehow that the certain marks that we have, the unique marks and the moles and the things that necessarily can't be explained, they're memory maps for us. It's like the soul's map for us to remember, in a way, what we're here for, why we're here, our uniqueness, our gifts, our blessings. And my beautiful kids have their own unique marks, and it's the soul's map. And you'll know when you need to know, you'll awaken when you need to awaken. We're all unique, we're all blessed. And we all have these unique gifts that will eventually come to the forefront when you're ready in your own awakening to say, you know what, yeah, I am special, I am unique, and I'm going to start standing in my power now. But we go through those social experiences so that we can teach and we can allow those healings to occur. Because if I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't have had all of the vibrational and experiential stories, mentally, emotionally, physically, and etherically, so that I could help and teach with all of the gifts that I have to assist others in their healing, and why the heart is so important in those healings. Because that heart chakra allows you that connection with all life. It is your source connector. It's like I don't know what they're called on highways. I don't know, it's kind of like a gateway. It's a gateway to all that is Source. And it's really important that we, every moment, where am I at with my heart here? Am I open or am I shut down? Am I open? Am I shut down? What we eventually want to move to, and there's varying discussions in the Ascension and Enlightenment offering, the world of offering, I suppose. And it's wonderful because we're all at varying stages. But where we want to move to in the fifth dimensional frequency is to live as an open vessel, and not to have to put blocks and shields up. What I've been shown is that the light that you carry within, your pure unconditional knowing that you are Source, is your shield. you will always attract what you need to. You will always connect with who you need to. You don't necessarily have to put up any more blocks and barriers between who you are with other people. And so there's only those discussions and experiences now because there's many people that go into shutdown mode, because when they begin to open up their gifts, they feel and they sense and they can hear all of these energies that are not, heavenly angels. That's what we're clearing, and that's what we're moving towards. So we want to allow these discussions so that awareness can bring you to a higher state of understanding and beginning to step away from that fear. When you stand in your power and say that, it's just like going to the fridge and seeing all of the opportunities you have to pull whatever you want from the fridge. You can choose something that is nice, or you can choose something that will clog you. It's no different, but it's how we perceive it. And energy, for empaths and for intuitives and crystal children and indigos, when your bodies and your fields are turned on, the first reaction, because it's the subtle body field, will just clench and shut down. It's just the fight or flight mechanisms that we have, and it's done through the brain, not the heart. So what we're learning now as we're moving to a fifth dimensional collective is shifting from living in that headspace, because it's always fight or flight. What do I need to do to survive? What do I need to do to control things? What do I need to do to manage everything? Am I safe? It's exhausting. Is to live from the heart center. I'm safe. I'm one with source. I'm safe. I'm one with source. I have all I need. Life can wash over you and not affect you. You can stand in that heightened power and know that, there's an infinite number of frequencies out there, and you have everything you need to discern what's right for you and what's not. So that's where we want to get to. We want to get to this space where, and I've heard many, many recordings and many offerings, and there's no judgment. There's no judgment at all. But we're bringing this forward as an opportunity to create greater compassion. The conversations that we have to separate and release and cut people out, that's moving from that fear situation that we're not belonging with anybody else, and they're not in our same space of energy, and all of those things that we physically see and we feel. But to create those energy experiences from a compassionate all oneness experience, because that's what we're here for. Not to create more dissension and separation. We understand what feels right and what doesn't. But how can we now create healing in all relationships, regardless of whether others are moving on or not? And it's really important how we speak, and it's really important how we allow our everyone to be treated and honored, because it's all source. I remember last year when I was moving through something really, really difficult, the one sentence, and this is source, it's just so profound and it's so powerful and so clear. And we made illustrations about it, and we made quotes to assist others that are moving through healings, especially when you've had many persecutory frequencies, and that fear is just so steeped within the cells, and it takes years to clear all that fear, because you can feel, the energies that oftentimes don't feel good, and they feel frightening. But what they told me is that honor all in the Most High. You shift your perspective on what you're experiencing, and you begin to see it for what it really is, and the fear drops immediately. Their source. They're in a vibration of fear and fright, and they're behaving and acting in the way that they do, and how they act and behave carries other energies that also attach to that as well. It's all source. So if we stand in those higher dimensional angelic body frequencies, and it's practice, it takes practice, you really garner your self-power so that nothing is throwing you off and pulling at you or tugging on you. You can feel it, but then you can say, you don't belong to me, off you go. I love you, off you go. But that takes practice and mastery to stand within your light and say, I'm a master of this. There's something going on behind me over here. Off you go. Back to source. But that's tuning in, and that's really slowing down, taking the practice and say, do I really want to perceive and say, I'm going to cut this person out, because their vibration doesn't match with me? Or am I going to say, I send you the highest light and we're still one, we're source. Is there anything that you need help with? I have a lot of information and wisdom. And that takes courage, because there are people that will awaken, and some of the first experiences will be that clenching feeling, because the fear and the awareness kicks in, and there's not a lot that's written about when you awaken the light body and the subtle body. How will you experience it? You're going to have to strengthen who you are as an energy being. Strengthen doesn't mean that separate, keep you away kind of thing. It means that you're honoring who you are. You're standing in your light. You're owning your power, and all is one. And you create that resonance. We are one. And I'm compassionate that you're going through a rough time. Is there anything I can do to help? And that's how we shift the dynamic, and everything is shifted in our collective, because how we behave and how we talk around the home and how we communicate, the children pick that up energetically, and they walk with those energies in the collective. So perhaps we can change how we speak. And it's really great that we have so much learning and ascension and awakening information that's out there. But now we're bringing it to a higher level. How can we really pay attention to what we say and how we speak to one another, and the wisdoms that we offer, so that it's always soft and compassionate, so that we're bringing our vibrational field up to a higher frequency of care and harmony and oneness. And we all do it. That's why I say there's no judgment. It's saying that it's time now for us to be whole and compassionate. Our times will call for it. And to allow yourself to know that you can always walk through a new door of empowerment. Empowerment comes purely from within. How do you get that power? By constantly connecting with your heart space to know that you are absolutely carried with source, by source, in source, as source. And that can move mountains. Doesn't matter what is in front of you, you are one with source. That's why the masters had shown us, and why it was written about and still carried through to this day. They created miracles so that we could see that as you live in that centeredness of allness with source, your sacredness with source, doesn't matter what's unfolding around you, you have the power to move mountains, because love is love. And love will heal any situation in front of you. I had a client recently that came to me and said that they had offered the energy of just opening into that heart space, into an experience. And there was a family dynamic that was going on, and it had been, the result of that conversation was one of the most peaceful experiences that she had ever experienced. Because she went into it not with that closed heart, oh, this is going to happen again, and obviously closing the energy down there. If you open and know that you're an infinity symbol, and it's moving through you at all times, and source is right within you, you can offer that unconditional love and compassion to know that we're one. We might not get along. We might not see and perceive things the same way. That's okay, because there's 7 billion people on this planet, and we're moving into the arena of energetic harmony. How can we get along? Seeing each other for who we are as source, brothers and sisters, and allow each other to have the light and the space that we need, because that compassion will shift the aggression and the anger and the fear and the safety issues that predict and promote, fight or flight energies. So open up that heart space and know that I'm an open vessel of source. And I'm going to build my strength to say, you know what? I know I'm walking and I'm attracting those vibrations that are good for me. I'm attracting all that is fun and joyful for me. And if I come into a situation, it's because I know it's a test. I'm strengthening who I am. And that's what my teams have showed me, is that there's nothing that's for naught that you've gone through, as hard and as challenging as it has been, as all the things that you've seen and you've been frightened of. It's allowed you to return to your source. It's allowed you to return to your center and say, I know there is light within this. There is light, and I stand within the power to seek it. I am in the center of that seeking, and I will come through in that power to light what's going on. I will bring forward this light and say, I'm standing in my power. We don't have to look at things like that anymore. What if we look at this way? It's great that you see things like that, but perhaps there might be something over here that might be good too. And you allow that opportunity of observation. You allow that opportunity of perspective shift. You shift your perspective instead of going into something that, taking on that energy, and your body clenches, and you can feel it immediately. So tune in. That's why we have the bodies and the gifts that we do, so that we can adjust them. And first, it's from our our sacred management of who we are. I choose to live with an open heart. We are one. And I'm going to bring whatever tools I have and whatever light I have, and I'm going to offer my compassion, because I know that love and compassion trumps all. It's showering every energy that in front of you. I shower everything in love. And whatever unfolds is the highest and the best, and there will be lessons and blessings to occur. Everybody, regardless of how any one situation or any one experience or any one being has harmed or hurt or crossed, whatever it might be that we use, the words, it doesn't matter. But anything that we see that's outside of ourself, if we offer it the love of self, offer it the love of the sacredness, offer it the love of the heart, you instantaneously shift what's going on. That vibrationally, are you closed or are you open? So the masters live with an open heart. It's open. It's a vessel of open love, because they know that they have whatever they need to see it from a compassionate, loving perspective. We're all doing the best we can to get through how we can. These are profound, monumental times for humanity. And the more that we shut off and push away and say that that doesn't belong to me, or it's separate from me, or you don't belong with me, then those experiences will come back until we get it. We're one. I offer openly. How can I serve? How can I be of service? How can I offer who I am as love? Now, it's not saying that putting yourself in dangerous and situations. This is saying that in every day we all walk forward in those movements of varying energies. So they're very subtle. How can we shift our perspective and release the ideas that I'm just going to shut it out? You have the ability to direct your flow of energy, to direct how you move about life and assist others. And because as you heal and love yourself, you're assisting others. But for light workers and healers, and for, the things that we're here to create, is to live with an open heart. There's nothing that love cannot transform. It might sound Pollyanna or fluffy or airy-fairy, whatever it might sound like, but it is real and it's tangible and it is alchemic. I can speak, I can write probably another 50 books on the experiences that will come to my memory on alchemic shifting through the heart space. It's profound and it's real. And allow it to work for you, because your heart and your soul and your higher self will call forward experiences to test you in every day. Are you living with an open heart? Are you closed? Are you open? Are you closed? Are you open? You'll get those experiences. And children are the greatest teachers. They'll come to us and just want to snuggle and play. Are we closed or are we open? Can you put down the devices and shut it off and just connect and be present? And that's the culture that we've created. And we're creating a culture that's now completely flipped into presence, heart presence, because that is what will heal our world. So let's create, I wanted to create just a beautiful sacred grounding and centering, grounding and centering, grounding and centering. So just allow your shoulders to be straight. Creating the full body breath. Release what no longer serves. And on your exhale, just release it, and again, visualize the golden pond, the golden beautiful lake that you are in. I'm already starting to feel the clearing. The gas and the burps and all that, it's just clearing the energy that's negative. It doesn't serve. And so you'll feel the little shifts in your body. And so just visualize the golden pond that's pure Christ consciousness love. That's the Christ consciousness, the golden God consciousness, the field of God consciousness, the field of love. And so anything that you're exhaling, whether it's a worry or an anxiety or a fear, intended to go into this golden pond and be instantly transmuted into pure light and back out into the world. And just visualize with your inner eye that as you're calling in that full body breath, expanding your vessel, pillar of light opens, your soul star chakra way up there, and your pineal and all the chakras. There's 14 chakras, even more. Release what no longer serves. Ground it into the pool, and it's being transmuted immediately. Any negative thought forms, negative energies. And release what no longer serves. Just move your lower body, the lower three chakras. You can, your lower body, when you release the energies that do not serve, that fight or flight energy, your body should feel like jello, nice and loose and, beautiful. It's like a little bucket of pillowy beauty, just releasing. And then just allow your body just to move, to bring in light, to bring in love. And imagine the golden shower that's coming from above, from the universe, clearing and cleansing all of your fields, the golden light of the Holy Source Creator, the Mother, the Father, Spirit, universe, all that is supporting us. And our guides are working on our fields to bring in the highest light frequencies of consciousness, the highest light codes as we inhale, calling in the highest frequencies of codes from the portals, the galactic energies, the galactic beings that are with us, to align all that we are, so that we allow ourselves to open in all moments to new light. Every cell is opening to greater light. Every organ is being bathed and cleansed with pure God consciousness. Every bone in our body is being bathed and cleansed with pure God consciousness. And the Christed light codes that are interacting within our water bodies and in our cells and in our chakras. Now see the chakras, all chakras from the top of the universe, all that run all the way down to the bottom into the center of Gaia. We're now grounding into the center of Gaia through our sacral cord that just grounds us, ground. You feel the sand moving away as your cord goes down into Gaia's center. So now you've got this beautiful, long, straight vessel that is just a beautiful tunnel of light. Light flowing in, light flowing out, light flowing in, light flowing out. Gaia is feeding you in her nourishment, your connection and your oneness with her, your intention to be one with her. She's feeding you love, light, consciousness. You're feeding her light and happiness and joy. It's always a movement of in and out, in and out. It's the flow. You're the manager of the flow of your light. Your oneness with Gaia. You're the manager of your oneness in all light, in all ways, in all breath. The breath is the elixir of love, the elixir of life. And it does move light in and out of your bodies and your cells. You're now intending, I'm intending that the light that's being bathed upon me to nourish, to bring new increased vibrations into my cells. My cells are now oscillating at a faster rate. I see the pristine and the crystalline energies co-creating with my cells and my organs and my body. I feel bathed and I've cleansed. My body and my fields feel lighter. I call in light, I call in light, I call in the highest vibration of love to soothe, to bring joy, and to bring happiness to all that I am as a multidimensional being. And being bathed in holy light, and being bathed in the Christic light, the Christ consciousness that interacts with everything that is life. And I am interacting with Gaia's grids that are Christed. And as a crystalline body, as a crystalline vessel, I'm giving my crystalline energies, all that is crystalline, all that is wisdom and information and a multidimensional consciousness. I'm giving it the nourishment that it needs. I'm feeding those crystalline energies. I'm feeding those crystalline cells. I call in greater light, and I am bathed in light multidimensionally, 360 degrees. Every cell is being bathed in the light of love. Now you call all of your consciousness, the focus point, to your divine sacred heart. And I always place my hand on my solar plexus when I'm calling in my focused attention, my I am presence focus. I call in all of my multidimensional presence, all of consciousness, all energy and power I've given away and left behind. I'm calling it all back to me right now so that I can create a focus into my divine sacred heart. I want to feel my presence and my energies and my essence with source. And this is when you go into communication mode. So you've cleared, you've called in light, and now we're going to center and focus for communion with source. And as you're breathing, you can still feel your grounding cord call in your grounding cord, because as we often call in light, we feel lighter and we start lifting up. And so simultaneously, what I do, it's just innate with me. I call my grounding cord and I exhale deeper into Gaia so that I'm maintaining my grounding. And that's what creates that centered empowerment, is when you're fully connected with Gaia, you're fully connected with your human family, and you're calling in the light. And so it's a simultaneous practice that you'll get used to. And it won't take long at all when you feel the subtleties in your bodies and what being fully aligned and present will feel like. And just feel into your fields. You'll feel the lightness in your fields. You'll feel the lightness in your aura. And as we're just moving through this presence, just continue to feel, because you have skills that are far, vast, and wide. And you can call on a part of your soul to continue bathing you in the golden light of Source Creator. If you have a meeting with other people today that might be contentious or might be nervous or whatever it might be, you can prepare your fields. And I'm just bathing myself with extra golden source light. Continue to bathe me and cleanse and clarify all that I am, so that I see with great clarity, I feel with great clarity, I can sense with great clarity, and I am the most highest vibration of oscillating light and love. I want to be the vessel of light and love. So please send forward the light, the codes, the colors, all that is sound vibration. I can hear things on another frequency, and it's assisting me in bringing and clearing the densities away, for I am the loving commander of my vessel and my experience and my destiny. I want to be heightened in my gifts and skills. I want to know that I can help others in all that I am. So please bring forward the light, the color, and the codes, so that I may assist those that are offering themselves to me and through me, so that I can assist in my highest way. And there might be things I might not see or understand, but as I open and practice with this, I'm sensing into what I'm feeling and what I'm sensing, because as we move into fifth dimensional living, we will, as I was teaching a class the other day, a webinar, our teams were showing us and showing me in a multidimensional way that we will receive and we will perceive and we will send information in ways we don't even have words for, because we haven't created the language yet. So be okay with it. As I've often said in many of our classes or radio shows, when I'm sensing and channeling universal energies and the universal communities, my body starts to twitch, and because I'm tuning in with their frequencies and fields, and there's things going on that I don't have words for. And so there will be those times where I'll come up with a new word or a new vibration to fit what I feel going on. Osmosis is the best word that I can understand. And it's an osmosis vibrational feeling. And so you'll be able to feel things and create energies for what is new. So have it be okay. Don't, I used to try and get that ego thing going on again and trying to fit words into the experience that I was going, and just open and allow, just let it be. The less time you spend in the ego phase, the more that you will expand in your heart phase. So allow whatever is occurring to occur, and you don't have to put names or words to it or definitions. So release all need to define, and just allow, just be. Really, really important over the next 6 months, because the energies will get faster. We will be experiencing things we can't understand or explain. And it's just our shifting into a higher vibratory frequency, and our bodies will be turned on and sensing and feeling and perceiving more than we ever have. And so as you're feeling the grounding cord burrowing through the sands and souls and the various sediment of Gaia, the beauty that Gaia is, and she's reaching up to you as she's pulling that cord down to assist in the grounding. And all that you are is a divine being of holy light, a divine being of holy light. And the holy light means that the highest vibration, that's what holy means to me, is your rarefied, pure connection with Source Creator. And it doesn't have anything to do with religious dogma or orientation. It is the purest, rarest frequency of your vibration as source. That's what holy means for me. And it's just a personal experience. And so the vibration of the pure and rarefied source energy, that is the joy and the frequency of the sacred child, the innocent child, the exploratory child, the divine child that just wants to go and play, as being a beautiful frequency of holy light. And we say that because there's been a recent awakening that Joanna's been on, and she's experienced herself as the sacred child within the forest reawakening that she used to be when she was a child, before some of her gifts got turned down. And she was a communicator with all life in varying frequencies in the forest and the fauna and the flowers and the bees and all insects and birds and the animals. And so this summer there was an awakening for her to step out into the light again and begin using these gifts, because they were all reinstalled and reinstated, turned back on, and bringing back to life, and practicing using these gifts again, and practice using the sounds of Gaia and the words of Gaia and the communication that Gaia is, so that these can be brought forward and brought back into the consciousness and the collective, so that we can begin exploring the sounds of Gaia, the song of Gaia, and start to create healings and communication and oneness with all nature and vibrations. And so that's all come from the heart, the activations of the heart and the focus of the heart. And so what we're doing right now is just finding yourself in a beautiful light and beautiful expansive feeling of oneness with Source, of oneness with your team. And I call forward my soul to live through me in this moment of now, as we release all energies that do not serve in our highest and in our best, all energies that are not serving in this moment of our highest and our best, be released in this moment of now, be blind to us now through the protection and the guidance of Archangel Michael and all of the angels, so that we refine and purify our connection with Source, our connection with our teams and our guides and our healing spirits, with Gaia, the Elohim, the Holy Mother, Father, the pure Mother, Father, light, the love that we are, aspects and birthed from, essences of the Christ consciousness coming to life in this moment of now as we call all of our consciousness to our divine sacred heart. And in this moment of now, we activate our divine sacred heart. And all that is present is love. All that is active within us is love. My bodies and my heart are open to the divine energies, the wisdoms, and the love that is Source. Source within all things, Source within. And focus your consciousness to your divine sacred heart. And just feel yourself as sacred. I am a sacred being of holy light. I am sacred. Purity of my intention is to open into my sacredness, to feel the harmonization of sacredness, body, mind, spirit, heart, and soul, all that I am. My fields are sacred. My mind is sacred. My thoughts, my words, how I behave, how I anchor my vessel to the divine sacred earth is sacred. How I speak to my human collective is sacred. How I fluidically move throughout creation is sacred. I perceive all life as sacred. I allow myself to refine my environment when I intake entertainment, whatever it might be, to align with a higher vibration of sacredness, so that I begin to sense and feel and honor all that is sacred within and without. I open my heart as an activation so that I may begin to empower myself from within, to live from a space of love and light and compassion. I activate the vibration of self-empowerment through love and compassion, my oneness with Source. I activate moments throughout my day to show me that I'm living in greater oneness, that I'm living with a greater open heart. And I know this to be true because I am the master of my reality. I'm the master of my destiny. And I am pure holy light. I am pure love. I am pure peace. I am fulfilling every moment as I live in a space of love and honor for who I am as sacred. My intention, attention, and focus is love. I allow the focus of my bodies, my fields, my mind to open in joyful exploration and love. I want to explore myself as a sacred and innocent child. And I call in the activations. I call in Source Creator to assist me in allowing me to receive greater light quotient that is joyful and blissful so that I can experience love. My intention is love. My intention is to be joyful. My intention is to be peaceful. And as I release all that no longer serves throughout my day and the worries, I am retraining, I am entraining a higher vibration of presence in love. Releasing worry and anxiety, releasing self-doubt, releasing judgment. And I return to center and I create presence and I live within my centered bodies, my centered vessel of light, and I live as love. For this is the truth of power. It's the compassionate love. It's the aware love. It's the intelligence of love. It's the intelligence that lives within the cells, the consciousness movement of love, the song of love that Gaia ever sings. All children, we are one, we are one. Holy, holy, we are one sacred child. Big energy moving through me right now from the shamans. Thank you so much. Inner Earth shamans and the Rainbow Masters of Light for those lovely native frequencies of song. And I just see the native collective that's coming up, the native shamans that are working with me in the Inner Earth and Gaia. And they're coming up from the earth, offering those sounds and to connect in oneness. They're giving a message right now. They're very happy that we're connecting with Gaia song again and how it brings oneness to the people and to the earth. Thank you. So blessed. And just exhale and feel your appreciation, your gratitude for all that we are, Spirit. And how our hearts open. And that's what causes the great emotion, is that open heart. Just allowing Spirit to live through you with great abandon. You don't have to control anything and block it away anymore. So, children of God and Mother and Spirit, Mother Earth, Mula, the Holy Divine Mother, children, open your hearts. Just open your hearts. The world needs you to open your hearts. So profound. So profound. Live from the space. You'll feel everything within you. Remember who you are as a powerful being of love and light, and offer this forward as your gift, because you are a gift. So blessed. And we love you. Thank you. Have a beautiful and magical day, living in the essence of who you are as pure love. Namaste.